Hey, it's Greg Arbitine here with the Silver Museum. In April of 2026, my family and I visited the beautiful Chateau de Chantilly, located just 30 miles north of Paris, France. This was our last stop on an 11-day spring break trip, and up until that point, I was pretty disappointed about not finding any silver in France and all the chateaus and museums that we had visited. That's largely because during and after the French Revolutionary period, most of the silver in France that was owned by nobles and royals was melted down, and that wealth was then distributed to the people. Some of that silver was also sold to private individuals and collectors, many of whom lived in other countries around the world. This same fate happened to the Chateau de Chantilly in the year 1799, when the French revolutionaries sacked the chateau and most of it was destroyed and the contents were looted and then sold off to other people. The Chateau de Chantilly remained largely empty after that until about 70 years later, when one of its heirs decided to come back and revitalize it. The chateau was owned by the royal family of King Louis Philippe, who was the reigning king of France from the year 1830 to 1848. He ended up being the last king of the French because in the year 1848, France decided to permanently abolish the monarchy. After King Louis Philippe was ousted in the year 1848, it was decided that it would be safer for his son Henri to leave the country until things calmed down and that the Republic was a little bit more established and that his life would not be in jeopardy. In 1871, Henri, the Duke of Aumale, finally returned to the country of France. Upon his return, and despite the fact that he no longer had any chance of a royal ascension to become king because the monarchy no longer existed, Henri decided that he did want to still rebuild something from the past as a legacy of the royals. So in 1875, Henri chose to restore one of his family's estate homes, the Chateau de Chantilly, into something larger and more opulent than it had ever been. Henri also decided that he wanted to fill the chateau with the heritage of France in the form of decorative accessories, silver, artwork, and anything like books and other things that would honor the past heritage that was all lost of France when everything was destroyed in the French Revolution. Despite the ouster of the royal family of Philippe in the year 1848, the family did retain quite a lot of financial might. This is evident in the magnitude of spending that Henri, the Duke of Aumale, used to recreate the Chateau de Chantilly, as well as refill it with unbelievable treasures of France. Henri, the Duke of Aumale, had a particularly incredible collector's eye. When Henri was purchasing these French treasures, as well as treasures from other countries from around the world, from major auction houses like Christie's, Sotheby's, as well as antique shops, it is very clear that he only really wanted the best of the best. Regarding the silver pieces that he collected, they were mostly a lot of church and religious pieces, as well as a lot of miniatures and different kinds of things that mostly pertain to France, as well as the French heritage. The chateau now houses the second largest collection of French artwork just after the Louvre. I personally believe this to be a superior collection of decorative arts to places like the Louvre because the Duke of Aumale was able to precisely pinpoint what exactly he wanted for each of his collections, whereas at the Louvre and other museums, they typically get bequeath requests from estates And then they kind of have to build a collection around those kind of pieces, so they don't have the latitude and precision that the Duke had here in accumulating his collection. I also like the collection a lot as well because in the year 1886 the Duke donated this to the country of France, and he had a stipulation basically that said that none of the pieces could ever be lent out. So every time you go to visit here, you will always see the pieces that you want to see, and they won't be gone or out on loan. It's also nice to see these kind of decorative items, artwork, and accessories in an actual chateau versus just the more institutional kind of museum. Well, I hope you enjoyed my quick rundown and brief history of the Chateau de Chantilly. I would also like to apologize for not pronouncing the word Chantilly properly in French, which would be Chantilly. And that's mainly because I come from a family of sterling silver flatware merchants here in the United States, and our number one sterling silver pattern of all time is called Chantilly, made by Gorham, which was first made in the year 1895. After pronouncing it Chantilly for about 100,000 times, it's just almost impossible for me to basically pronounce it any other way. Well, hey, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit like. I also want to remind you that we at the Silver Museum are still very strong buyers of all French silver, as well as all other antique silver, including tea sets, flatware sets, hollowware items, patterns, you name it, we probably buy it. We also buy scrap silver as well. So if you have anything that you would like to sell, please do contact us to get our fair and competitive offers. You can just send your cell phone pictures as well as an inventory list to Greg, that's spelled Greg, at silvermuseum.org, or you can call or text us at 813-789-4734. Well, again, thanks for watching the video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.